Yes,
Well,
it's a beautiful day. Have you been outside?
it's a beautiful day to be outside and a beautiful day to present the state of the city.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our annual State of the City address happening tonight at the City Center, the former Masonic Temple.
Yeah, City Center is, there's probably no one's ever heard of it because it isn't even done yet.
Yeah, we wanted to find a different name just because it hasn't been a Masonic temple in quite some time. So the building's taking a different direction, so we wanted to give it a new name. So we thought City Center was generic enough, could always get a different name in the future. But yeah, this is going to be the annual address from the mayor and other officials, but it's also kind of an open house for people to come and see what the city's been doing at the building.
So he's got an agenda, and I think each year he presents the key to the city to someone. Is that going to happen tonight?
Yes, you'll have to see.
Okay.
I'll keep you in suspense.
It's top secret.
Oh, yes.
Is it one key?
We have two keys.
Two keys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last year it was Georgia Fatasic and Greg O'Connor.
Yeah, so other names from the community will be awarded as well.
We'll find out. Well, and people, they're invited. They can come, and there's chairs and everything.
Oh yeah, so this is going to be more of an informal event than we've had in years past. It's really just going to be an open house for people to come see the city center, the former Masonic temple, because what's happening there on the basement level, there's now a kitchen, and that's going to be an incubator kitchen for residents to grow a food-based business, along with a food service training center for people to get experience in the food service industry and get some job skills. And then on the main level, where the auditorium is, that's going to be an event center for the city to use or for the community to use and to rent for various events. So yeah, we welcome anyone to come out. It's a free event. It starts at 6, and you can come and see the kitchen and see the auditorium and all the work that we've done. And it's really been night and day over the past couple of years since we started construction. It's really great. Bring it up to modern standards, but also keep those historical elements as well.
Yeah, I haven't been in it since last year, so I'm anxious to see it. And there's more to do. It's not completed, is it?
There's some finishing touches happening right now. I think the building will be complete and ready to open later this spring. And then the upper floors haven't been touched yet just because the funding that we got from the federal government didn't cover those areas, and we don't have a plan for them yet. But we're thinking about potentially finding other funding sources for that and then seeing what we can do there.
All right, cool. It's 6 o'clock downtown,
right.
The former Masonic Temple. Well, have you heard there's this big hubbub about the parking?
A lot of people are talking about parking. Yeah, so what happened there is the city council at their last meeting approved a plan to put parking meters downtown. Currently, people regard it as free parking, but there's no such thing as free parking because someone has to pay for it. Over the years and possibly decades, businesses have been paying for their share of the parking for customers to come downtown. And so that's how parking has been covered, is by businesses. And that usually we hear a lot of people who are displeased with that, who come to city council meetings whenever it's approved by the city council. So city staff created a plan to put parking meters in instead of doing the assessments on businesses, and that was approved at the recent city council meeting. And then following that, we just heard a lot of comments from business owners and residents talking about how they want to continue free parking and not wanting parking meters downtown. So the city has decided to pause that plan for now, and there's going to be a special meeting of the city council for the council members to work out what's going to happen next.
Aaron, did you sense that the council and the administration was surprised by the pushback on the meter plan?
Well, it's always good to hear from the community about anything that we do. We're very public about what we do and what we're putting forward to the community, and it was approved unanimously by the city council. And then following that, we heard from a lot of people who were voicing their concern about it. So it's important for us to listen to the community and what they want. So that's why the city decided to pause it.
And there wasn't like a series of public hearings or presentations leading up to the decision. That was the first. I think a lot of people had heard of it.
Yeah, I think the city could have done a better job of getting the word out to residents and business owners just to make sure they knew about it beforehand. I think in the future, before we do something like this, we'll want to make sure more people are on board before we make more steps. So I think that was an important part that we could have done a better job of, is informing people about it, just because there was such a big backlash of people hearing about the parking. But these are important things to know, that people, when they come downtown, they don't want to have to go through the steps of paying to park. And we don't want to have any barriers for our residents to come downtown either. So this is really just something that we're going to have to work out with residents and the business owners, because previously businesses were paying to cover the cost of parking downtown. So that's really something we're going to have to see where everyone wants to land at. And that's the important part of the city council meeting. So it's really going to be up to the city council to decide what happens next.
Yeah, and I think so many what ifs came up, like, what if I'm just picking up some cupcakes? What if I just am dropping off a package at the postnet or the post office? And I think a lot of those questions really weren't answered, in the plan and the proposal that was approved.
Right.
So this meeting, March 26th, next Wednesday, it's a special city council meeting. So is it designed to get more input, continue gathering input?
Yeah, definitely. We want to hear from the community about what they have to say about parking. We want to hear from business owners. So really, it's just a time to collect more feedback, and then also a time for the city council members to decide what to do next as to how parking downtown is going to be funded.
All right. You were reading the New City newsletter.
That's right. It's hitting mailboxes. Yeah. I just got mine yesterday. It's
I got mine yesterday too. I read it. I read it from cover to cover.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it's full. A lot of information, a lot of things going on, and some things I knew about, some things I didn't know about.
Yeah, so this goes out to every address in the city limits, and it really goes over what has been happening in the city over the recently and what's going to be happening in the future. So it's a seasonal newsletter, goes out quarterly. I like to say seasonal because I feel like that sounds better, but really just talks about the latest city news, partnerships, and programs. And on the cover is a story about a partnership we have with Jackson Public Schools. Two of our patrol officers, Officers Johnson and Stallworth, have been working with the school district. They're school resource officers, so they work full-time. Officer Johnson is at Parkside Middle School, and Officer Stallworth is at Jackson High, and they are there to help students and just kind of act as an in-between between the outside world and the school, and help make sure it's a safe and secure learning environment. So they've been there in those positions for a couple of years now, and it's a really positive thing that's really making a difference and building a lot of community trust. So it was great to highlight that in our newsletter and to talk about that partnership with Jackson Public Schools.
And two other things, street construction and tree removal, and there's a couple of projects where it's happening at the same time in the same place.
Yeah, so our construction season is picking up, but then also you're probably going to see a lot of tree activity all over the city. I know in my neighborhood I'm seeing a lot of tree stumps. And so what's happening there is we have a really big backlog of trees that need to be addressed, and they're trees that are in the parkway area. So that's the area in between the sidewalk and the street. So that is the area that the city controls, and those are our trees. So we want to make sure that we maintain them. And right now there's a list of about 300 trees that are waiting to get attention all over the city. I know I had a tree in my parkway, and I had to wait 3 years just like everyone else.
So they're like dead trees?
Yeah, they're either dead or about to die, or their limbs need to be trimmed, or they're close to a utility line, or they're endangering a property or pedestrians. They're really just problem trees that have been waiting to be addressed, and we haven't been able to address them because of funding. But the plan that we're working with right now, we've increased funding for Public Works to do forestry operations so they can remove and trim trees. And then also we're working with a contractor, Johnny's Tree Service, to address more trees. So we're really picking up the pace of addressing those trees. And I know there's a lot of properties, around 300 properties, who are waiting for attention. So you're going to hear timber a lot all over the city.
All right. Well, thanks for all the updates, and thanks for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
I'll see you tonight at the State of the City.
We'll be there.
Aaron Dimick, Public Information Officer, City of Jackson.